Two New Jersey gym owners were arrested. They were charged with defying the state's COVID restrictions last week. But that didn't stop them from doing this. Now, just to be clear, they're not breaking into somebody else's place. This is their place. They're kicking in the plywood barricade at the front door of their gym because they want customers to get in. They say that at the Attilas gym, they have done what they were supposed to do to make it safe the way other businesses that they are similar to, in their own estimation, did. And that yet they are not allowed to open. All right? This is a court battle. They could go to jail. Now you have the state AG's office there in Jersey recommending a fine of up to 10 grand a day. So this has become about more than business. And I want these men to make the case because they're somewhat representative of something that's happening all across this country. Ian Smith and Frank Trombetti are the owners of Attilas Gym, and they're here now. How you doing, fellas?
How are you, Chris? How are you?
So, look, the best case they have on you is this is about health. It's not about not liking exercise. It's not about not liking you. It's about keeping people safe, and you should respect that, and you're not. Your response, one at a time.
I would say that actually when this first started, they asked for 2 weeks. When we first opened up, we gave them 2 months. We gave them until May 18th. At 2 months, they had no plan. Plain and simple, they had no plan. We did. We actually wanted to prove that we could open up safe. They actually say that liquor stores are essential, that actually every place that you can go into Home Depot and Lowe's is essential. I disagree with that. Okay, we're all essential. Everybody's essential. And bottom line is this isn't about opening up a gym. They have violated everyone's constitutional rights. We all have the right to make a living. We all have a right to actually do what we want to do as Americans. We are promised liberty. And they have actually put such oppressive restrictions on us that it's just unacceptable to us.
And Ian, they say they agree with you. And you have the right, obviously, but you have to balance that right with the risk to people who will come in there, be breathing all over each other in too tight a space. And gym is different than other places because people are getting so exercised, excuse the pun. It's not about restricting your liberty. It's about keeping people safe. Counter.
I would argue that the gym is a place to keep people safe. This is a place where people come to build their immune systems, to build the strength of their body physically on the outside and the inside. This is a place where people come to relieve stress. This is a place where we have soldiers that have served our country that come to deal with their PTSD. This is a place that we have recovering drug addicts who use this as an outlet. This is a place that saves lives. This is a place that creates health and fosters health.
How do you keep somebody from being sick? So I come in, I'm sick. And look, everybody knows that I'm a fitness guy, and I have a lot of friends who are in the gym business, and a lot of people who are in this kind of pain. And I understand it, and I feel sorry for it.
You would not be allowed in. When you go to a Home Depot, you go to a Lowe's, you go to a liquor store, they don't do anything but make you require masks and stay 6 feet apart from each other.
Right.
When you come into our gym, you actually stand in front of a biometric scanner that takes your temperature. You take a disinfected pen. You fill out a health questionnaire, just like you would at a doctor's office. You take that pen and you put it in a dirty bin so we can actually disinfect it. You're handed a bottle of a disinfectant that is actually from Ecolab that actually is proven to actually kill the coronavirus in 45 seconds when it's diluted at 4 ounces per gallon. We actually have an air scrubber in here, which is it's a mobile decontamination unit that actually circulates approximately 10,000 cubic feet of air per minute through a UV light run by hydroxyl generators. It provides 99.9% chemical-free and virus-free air. Their science says that the masks don't work. Plain and simple. It is a safe place to be. It is not a confined space. We actually have 25-foot ceilings in our gym. They have actually taken all gyms and they've actually considered them as one. They are not all equal. I agree.
Well, the state says that too, Frank. The state says that too. Look, I don't agree with you about masks, but that's not what we're talking about here. They say, well, no, that's not right. We've allowed outdoor drills. We're allowing one-on-one indoor martial arts, Ian. We're allowing yoga instruction, and we'll allow you to do whatever you want outside as long as you can follow certain rules. Why is that not good enough?
Our governor has allowed outdoor fighting. You can actually full contact fight outside. I can punch you into something. You're an athlete. You actually are one of the tough guys out there. If we're actually sparring outside and I punch you in the stomach and I knock your mouthpiece out, you're going to spit in my face. But Governor Murphy says that you can't get COVID that way. But because it's outside.
But somehow walking into a facility that's highly regulated, that has a 15-point safety protocol that goes above and beyond what any business in the state of New Jersey, and I would argue any business in the country has done so far, you can get COVID just because there's dumbbells in here. It doesn't. It's very inconsistent.
So here's my concern. I think you got a good case. I'll be honest. I don't think it's one by one. I don't think there's malice on the part of the state, obviously, but sometimes they go too far. Here's the problem. You lose here because they are the regulatory authority. And what do you do about $10,000 a day? And what do you do if they want to lock you up because they have the law on their side of keeping people safe during a pandemic?
First of all, executive orders are not laws. So bottom line is we'll fight this to the end. And we listened to your part that came on before this, and you seem like you're a big numbers guy. And actually, I would like to put some numbers out there for you. Are you aware that actually when this first started, there are 2.1 million people in the United States in long-term care facilities that represent 0.6% of the population. But on July 17th, that 0.6% of the population represented 53.3% of all the deaths that occurred in the United States from COVID.
Yes.
And that's because the governors are not doing their job. Okay, in New Jersey alone, on June 1st, the percentage of total deaths in New Jersey in long-term care facilities was 42.3%. Now, you would think they had control of it because they don't let anybody in the long-term care facilities since March 13th when they started Executive Order 107, I'm sorry. And then when you go back and you would think they go down. So from June 1st, the actual total percentage of deaths was 42.3%. Now, fast forward to June 23rd. On June 23rd, the percentage of total deaths in New Jersey, forget the other states, okay? The percentage of deaths from long-term care facilities rose to 49.7%. And I brought to the media's attention that for 23 straight days, more people died out of the 70,000 residents in New Jersey that live in long-term care facilities than the 9 million people that he calls the knuckleheads. Okay, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Okay, and then that day on June 23rd, he would always admit how many people died in long-term care facilities, how many people died in the general population. On June 23rd, it peaked with 57 total deaths in New Jersey. Blessed souls that he says. Right. God help them. Okay. 50 of them died in long-term care facilities, 7 out of the other 9 million people in general population. But
but Frank, I don't think it's just about.
And you know what? There's a task force. No, there's one more thing. There's a task force. The actual U.S. Army has a JTF 57 COVID-19 task force that was disassembled on June 24th. That task force job was inside of the long-term care facilities in the state of New Jersey to document all new cases and document all of the deaths. The state of New Jersey has not updated any of their deaths in long-term care facilities since they disassembled that on June 24th.
Frank, I think
Look it up. That's the facts.
Frank, I am not questioning your
numbers.
numbers
guy. That's the facts.
Frank, I'm not questioning them.
Bottom line
Hold on a second.
Chris.
Guys, I hear you about it.
We're being blamed.
I hear you about it, but no, I'm not blaming you the way that you're suggesting. Let me just balance it out.
Not you. I'm talking about we're being villainized as small businesses in general, that we're responsible for this spread, but over 50% of the deaths are coming from places that are supposed to be under governors' control.
I understand, and there's no question, Frank. Frank, give me a chance. Give me a chance, Frank.
16, we have had 15,009 visits to our facility, 0 positive cases, nobody sick. We will actually have the rapid. You just said something about the rapid test.
Yeah.
I will have 250 rapid tests available to be administered by a nurse on Thursday.
Rapid tests are great. I don't know.
Who else has that?
I don't know. Look, I'm saying I think you guys have a good case. I get their general suspicion of places where you're going to be congested and people are going to be breathing all over each other, but one size doesn't always fit all. Rapid tests with quick turnaround or point of service turnaround would be very important. What you're saying about long-term care facilities, I'm not questioning it. We did the wrong job by the most vulnerable people. And even though, obviously, the oldest and the most fragile will die the most in a situation like this, it doesn't mean you did it the right way. The only thing I would caution you about.
You're knocking Trump because of the total numbers.
I'm not knocking Trump because he's not doing. Hold on.
53.3% of the deaths. 53.3% of the deaths from 0.6% of the population.
Frank.
Bottom line, that's a fucking stat that nobody's talking about.
Frank, watch your mouth. We're on television. But
sorry, sir.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I get the passion. What I'm saying is this. One, death isn't the only metric. I'm not blaming the president for the pandemic. I'm not blaming the president when people die, except there's a lot more they could be doing. If the government were doing what you're doing in your gym, we'd be in a very different place. If they were killing themselves to figure out the best way to test, we'd be in a different place. I'm not blaming you for that kind of stuff. It's not about the president.
No, but we're being blamed by the governor for being reckless when we're doing more than what he does in long-term care facilities.
I get your argument. I get your argument, and I think that you should have a fair hearing on it.
It's out of control. It's out of control. It's all that happens is conclusionary statements with no science and data to back up that our gym or any small business for that matter is more responsible for deaths and the spread of COVID than any other one.
I don't think all I'll say, Ian, I don't think death is the right metric because it's about, look, obviously death matters most, right? We're human beings.
Cases aren't the right metric?
No.
What is death. The right metric? Healthy people are not dying.
Frank, death.
Healthy
that's not true.
Are not dying.
That's not true.
I lost my mother from this.
And I'm very sorry for that.
She got it in the hospital.
I'm very sorry.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
I'm not barking up any tree.
My mother got it in the hospital.
Frank.
My mother got it in the hospital where they're supposed to protect.
I'm very sorry about that. And I'm sorry she got it. I'm sorry she succumbed to it. But I'm not attacking you for it. I'm saying that death isn't the only way to measure the risk. I'm very sorry about you losing your mother, Frank, and, I'm sure you can understand that. I don't want to blame anybody for anybody doing something wrong. I'm saying getting sick is what they're worried about. Not that you're going to kill people, but that...
No, they're worried about deaths. They're worried about death. Bottom line is, it's like the flu. If you take that 0.6% of the population that is responsible for 53.3% of the deaths, this is a mild flu.
No, but there are a lot more cases, Frank. There are a lot more cases, and people are getting more sick, and different people are getting sick than get sick with the flu, and we're getting a lot of weird after effects with this. We've got to take it seriously, but that doesn't change the fact that you guys may be doing the right things to keep people safe.
It is important to take very seriously, and I think that what needs to happen is government needs to start working with the people in order to resume life while taking things seriously. When we opened back up in May, we opened very publicly for a reason because there was no plan present, and we decided that we were going to put forth a model to work with government. To this day, we've had no outreach from government, even though our plan has been proven to be pretty effective. Is it perfect? No. But you would have thought by now that the New Jersey government would reach out and say, hey, let me send a health official down there and let's talk about this. Let's get back on track.
I don't disagree with that either. I would say this, though, Ian.
Shut up and listen to my executive orders. And if you dare defy them, you will be punished and you will be financially
ruined.
And
obviously that's not how the administration of justice should work. And you should have the chance to make your case. I just don't think it should have to go that far. I don't want to see you guys wind up in court to do this. But you're also allowing yourselves to be a little politicized on this, Frank. I didn't mention the president. That has nothing to do with the president.
I am the least political person you ever.
You brought it up in this interview, and it had no place in it. So that wasn't on me. That's on you, Frank. I'm just saying be careful, because if you get seen as a political actor, then you're going to get treated as a political combatant. And I don't know that you want that.
And that's okay. And Chris, Chris, that's okay with me because the people that have known me for my entire life, I'm 51 years old, know that I never had a political bone in my body. I couldn't give two craps about politics. I thought blue states were bordered by water and red states weren't. That's simple. Okay, bottom line is, and that is true. Everybody that knows me, and I'm
I hear
out
you,
here
but
in
Frank,
public,
look.
okay, I made my house in the glass, and you guys haven't found anything to come after me with.
Frank,
okay,
I'm covering it because I think it's indicative of what's happened in a lot of places in the country. I'm going to stay on your story. You guys are welcome back here to let me know what the next iteration is. It's not about red or blue for me. It's about what's right for people to get healthy and get businesses open and live their lives. So you got an opportunity here when you want it, all right? And I'm really sorry about your mother, Frank. I'm so sorry that you lost your mom. All right, Ian Smith and Frank Trumbetti.